complex or dangerous hazardous material incident, Dennis is a person they know to call, and the person they trust to help determine what needs to happen next. That same expertise and commitment has also taken him across the nation. As a member of Ohio Task Force 1, FEMA's Urban Search and Rescue Team, Dennis has deployed to major disasters, helping rescue survivors and bring hope to communities facing unimaginable loss. Time and time again, he's answered the call whenever he was needed most, and even at 2 o'clock in the morning when we all call him. Yet perhaps Dennis's greatest contribution isn't measured by the emergencies he has responded to. It's measured by the people he has prepared to answer the next one. For decades, he's taught and mentored firefighters, including myself, paramedics, inspectors, and officers throughout Southwest Ohio. It will be difficult to find a department in our region that doesn't include someone who has learned from Dennis, worked beside him, or benefited from the standards he's helped establish. His legacy isn't confined to one department. It lives on through generations of first responders who continue to serve with the knowledge and professionalism he values and instilled in others. Those who know Dennis know he has never sought recognition. This is very hard for him. He's simply shown up, done the work, and made everyone around him better. That quiet humility has earned him something far greater than accolades, the respect of an entire profession. So Dennis, on behalf of the City of Lebanon, thank you for your 50 years of leadership, sacrifice, and selfless service. Your influence has strengthened our department, shaped the service throughout the Southwest Ohio, and made the lasting difference in communities across our nation. We really appreciate it. It is our privilege to recognize your extraordinary career and the legacy you continue to leave for generations to come. Congratulations on this remarkable milestone. We have a little something for you. On behalf of the City of Lebanon and Lebanon professional firefighters, we'd like to give you this.
I'd like to really thank my wife and my family for all the time that I was able to be away, and they were still at home taking care of things. I learned from some of the best in the region also, and I really want to make sure that I'm a fireman. I want to make sure those guys become a fireman. You're here. There's been a lot of times that as the fire inspector, I would say that we just need to put a cot in Mr. Brunka's office because somebody was calling and complaining. He always was the support of making sure the fire code was enforced well. So thank you all again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
City Council have any comments? You guys want to get a picture with everybody? If the department want to, yeah. You guys want to come up?
Still want to replace our
Can someone get a city council? Hold on.
No.
Hold on. Everybody's moving out of the way for some reason.
You don't need to be in this picture. You do it, Judy.
It's
Yeah, but we still move it.
There we go.
Keely's what? He's
Well done, Chief.
Thank you, sir. So we have two public hearings tonight. First being a rezoning of approximately 29.5 acres located at the Norgal Drive from light industrial to light industrial planned unit development. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
Second.
Please call roll.
Mr. Cope?
Yes.
Mrs. Eggers?
Yes.
Mrs. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Sellers?
Yes.
Mayor Messer?
Yes.
Mr. Lammer?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. We've got some slides if you want to go through for the presentation. This is legislation that would rezone approximately 29 acres from its current zoning designation of light industrial to a light industrial planned unit development or PUD designation. It really impacts two separate parcels, two separately owned parcels. I think a driving force behind this is bringing existing businesses that have operated there for a number of years kind of into conformance with our code and updates to our code that have taken place over the years. But that base underlying industrial zone still is applicable. So the applicants are Heat and Sensor, Lebanon Storage, and then Case Towing, who will be building a new facility and operating out of what's currently a vacant parcel on Norgal Drive. So this is a map that shows the property. Again, you can see the existing Heat and Sensor business at the top there, and then the Case Towing properties where the facility will be built. A significant portion of that property is in the floodplain. Okay. So the Heat and Sensor facility has historically been utilized as outdoor recreational vehicle storage. I think we kind of looked at how long. I mean, it goes back to certainly the early 2000s. Over the course of time, the city's code has been updated to not allow for RV storage in industrial sites. Obviously, from our perspective, this property would be grandfathered. So the rezoning with the PUD would allow the continued use of the facility for outdoor storage and kind of bring what's an existing non-conforming use into conformance. So if you kind of look at what the modifications are focused on, again, this would permit the outdoor storage of RV boats, trailers, food trucks, and and large commercial vehicles. It does also make some adjustments to front and side yard storage requirements in terms of setback. We are incorporating quite a bit, and the developers will be incorporating quite a bit of screening into the facility to kind of address some of the concerns with the aesthetics. There's no modifications being made to the existing building, so this really focuses on the expansion of the outdoor recreational vehicle storage area. Thanks, Brian. So here you can see what they're, and then this is the Case Towing part of the PUD process. You can see on the right is heat and sensor property, where they're going to be expanding some of their outdoor storage and putting in some screening. Case Towing is going to be building a new building towards the front of Norgal Drive. That area will be paved per our standards, but we are permitting them through this process, the rear kind of called the impound lot, if you will, to be gravel. Our current industrial zone does allow for some gravel parking in certain situations, so this PUD would open that up and expand it, again, in the rear within the fenced area. The other item that's addressed through this PUD is our current zoning code only allows storage of 40 vehicles for a towing operation. I know state law has changed over the last few years, which requires case towing and other towing operations to essentially keep the vehicles for a longer period of time. So we are allowing more than 40 vehicles be stored within that fenced and screened area. So that's one of the conditions of the PUD. We're also allowing a wider access drive, paved access drive in the front to accommodate their large towing equipment getting in and out of the site. We did allow for some exemption on landscaping right around the building due to those conditions, but again, are requiring a significant amount of landscaping for screening purposes throughout the rest of the site. So if you look at both properties combined, on the right you can see where Heat and Sensor is going to be expanding their outdoor RV storage area. And you can see the front portion again is paved, and then we're allowing a continuance of the existing gravel to the rear of the property, and then you can see the case towing proposed plan with the building in the paved and gravel areas. And again, substantial landscaping and visual screening for both properties. So staff recommended approval of the PUD designation to Planning Commission. Planning Commission also recommended approval at their July 21st meeting. We feel like the PUD complies with the intent of the base zone. That's all I have, Mayor.
Very good. This is a public hearing, so this will be, you'll see this on number 6 on our upcoming ordinances, but if you'd like to speak to these developments, please come to the podium, give your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes. Any comments from the board?
That's a quick question. Do we require specific parking for disabled electric vehicles? Is that something, certainly not to put you guys on the spot, but do we say, or does the EPA come in and say they have to be parked
In a certain
in a certain location, off-site, away from buildings? No. Do you have a problem with getting those removed once you haul one in that's been beat up? Do they sit for a long period of time, or?
Well, sometimes we have to keep them for, 60 days now before we can file for a junk affidavit to get rid of it. We usually get rid of them after that.
You're collecting storage though, so that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, that's all I had.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. I'm assuming there's going to be accommodations for, especially on gravel, for, grease and stuff that's coming off of vehicles that are sitting there. I don't know if that's a detention area or.
Yeah, they are installing stormwater detention as part of that requirement, so that's on site and that's.
And we have diapers too. I know it sounds funny, but they have diapers now that you put on underneath the rig in that leave fluids or anything like that, or hazmat diaper, so it catches all that fluids and everything. So.
Car diapers. Never heard of that. Seeing no comments, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing. Second. Please call the roll.
Mr. Lamoureux?
Yes.
Mr. Sellers?
Yes.
Mayor Messer?
Yes.
Mrs. Eggers?
Yes.
Mrs. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Cope?
Yes.
Next, public hearing, rezoning of 4 Oakwood Avenue from residential R1C to neighborhood commercial planned unit development. Do you have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Mr. Sellers?
Yes.
Mr. Cope?
Yes.
Mayor Messer?
Yes.
Mrs. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Lamoreaux?
Abstain.
Mrs. Eggers?
Yes.
Okay, so this property is currently zoned R1C. You can kind of see on the map the subject property there, just to the west of property that's currently zoned neighborhood commercial. So the proposed zoning is to bring it into a neighborhood commercial PUD designation. The property really has not been used for residential purposes for a number of years, so it's kind of been out of compliance with their zoning code for a while. And the applicant has asked to rezone it to be consistent with historic uses as well as the adjacent properties. Again, this is another rezoning that's geared towards addressing some existing nonconformities that exist on the site. And that's more specific just to the use of the property over the years. I think an architect had previously owned it with the intent of having kind of an architectural office, but it's been more kind of like an office use in the past. You know, this from staff's perspective, this is consistent with the recommendations of the comprehensive plan and our downtown master plan. The PUD allows for some flexibility with regards to side and front yard setbacks. You can kind of see what that base neighborhood commercial designation allows. The proposed PUD is going to give a little bit more flexibility. Again, that's based on existing conditions out there now. They're not doing any sort of extensive work on the building beyond just remodeling it, but it would reduce the front yard setback and the side and the rear yard setbacks, as well as the minimum lot area. This is an existing lot record, so this is the acreage or the square footage that exists now. And it also makes some adjustments with regards to parking setbacks. So you can see the site, that's the existing building, you can see the site. There is kind of an access easement in the back that gives them access to two parking areas behind the building. And then there is on-street parking in front of it, and they are working on, trying to work on an agreement with the adjacent property for some additional 3 spots through, right now it's a verbal agreement. Obviously, we'd like to see that formalized. Staff's reviewed it, worked with the applicant. We recommended approval to the Planning Commission, and they also approved it at their July 21st meeting. Again, I think the proposal fits with the existing zoning that's adjacent to this building, and the PUD designation provides some flexibility to meet existing conditions. That's all we have.
Very good. So this is number 5 on the agenda tonight. Would anybody have any comments pertaining to this public hearing? Anything from the board? Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Mrs. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Sellers?
Yes.
Mr. Cope?
Yes.
Mrs. Eggers?
Yes.
Mr. Lamoreaux?
Yes.
Mayor Messer?
Yes. All right, recognition of visitors. We have probably a dozen here. I'm sure you guys read through the rules and procedures. You'll, when I call your name, come to the podium. You got 3 minutes at the podium. Please state your name and address for the record. And we look forward to hearing your comments. First is Stephanie Mitchell-Gould. You must have been last on the assignment.
I
Oh,
was not. Hello.
hi.
I'm Stephanie Mitchell-Gould. I live at 385 Morrow Road. I'm going to talk about Lebanon Pride and why it's important to me as somebody who's lived in Warren County for 20 plus years. Pride is something that is very near and dear to my heart as somebody who was bullied and tormented in their youth for trying to be myself and be my authentic person, stuffed in lockers, beaten up. Somebody tried to stab me at some point, and I was tormented a lot. And I had no place, I felt like I had no place to be myself. to be loved by a community that I felt welcomed with. And that alienation really led to some dark places in my life. And having now a place where I feel welcomed and important and loved and accepted by everyone is something that I never thought possible when I was younger. And then to be able to share that with my children and have them have a place where they can feel the same sense of community, love, and acceptance that they may not feel other places. And I think it's important to keep that here for the people who felt like me. And I know that there's people that have come to me that are my daughter's age and said, I don't feel safe at home. I don't feel safe talking to my friends or my family, but I feel safe with you. And I want kids to feel that safeness and that sense of community and feel welcome and accepted and continue to thrive here in Lebanon. And as a board member, I never thought I would be involved in an organization like this. And to be able to help and foster those children to be able to accept themselves and know that there are people out there that will continue to love and support them. And that's all.
Thank you.
Laura Alisi?
Hi, Laura Alisi. I live in Lebanon. I've spoken to you all. I am a proud ally. I will always be a proud ally. And when we asked you guys to come to Lebanon Pride, we asked you to be proud allies. And that that was not taken that way, and it's disappointing for us to not have all of you be proud allies with us to stand up for the youth in our communities, the bullied, the people that you all say when you do your prayer, who you're praying for. These are those people, the most vulnerable amongst us.
Karen Kopak?
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Thanks for giving us the opportunity to speak. Since a group of people started Lebanon Pride, I live at 3829 Crooked Tree Drive in Mason. I've been a resident of Warren County for 25 years now. My husband and I have been married for 30 years. He's an Air Force vet. I have 3 kids. One's a teacher, one's in cybersecurity, and one, the jury's out because he's still at Penn State. I come here because I got involved in Lebanon Pride at the very beginning and started to volunteer. And it's because of a story. And I bring this picture with you because my nephew Nick was 22 years old when he committed suicide a year after he came out to me and our family. He actually had come to live with us for a period of time when he graduated college because his mom was having issues, so he came to live with us. And my husband and I took him in, and he ended up with a full ride scholarship to Evansville, Indiana, and then he started having some issues. So we ended up bringing him back home, and he had told me a story about being held at gunpoint when he got lured to a home from some other young men who were not being truthful and was held at gunpoint, and somehow he managed to get out through a bathroom window and escape. About a year after he came out to me, he had gone home to his mom's house, and they were not very accepting there, and he stepped in front of a train when he was 22 years old. I come here telling this story because the goal of this is to save lives. That's it. Like, we need, if this had been around, if Pride had been around 15, 20 years ago, he might be alive to this day. So I come here just hoping to be, for you guys, just to be open-minded about it and understand that this is real lives. He was a real person. He was like a brother to my children. So thank you for letting us speak. I hope we can continue to do this, and I love you all. And thank you for saving lives. You really are.
Leslie Mahegan.
Good evening. My name is Leslie Nahigi, and I live at 517 Heritage Trace here in Lebanon, and I am the new chair of Lebanon Pride. On behalf of Lebanon Pride, I would like to extend our deepest thanks to the city, electric, streets, police, fire, Mr. Brunca and his team for partnering with us to bring another safe, successful, and Lebanon-appropriate festival to our city. I would also like, on behalf of Lebanon Pride, to address the social media post welcoming Mr. Cope to the festival. We were genuinely happy to have a council member present. From year one, guests have asked if members of council would be in attendance or address the crowd. You all are always welcome. That this may have resulted in threats of violence to Mr. Cope or his family is disturbing. We understand how that feels. Often our posts are met with threats of gun or other violence, and it was especially hard for us to hear about those harmed at the Pride Festival in Berlin, Germany, held the same day as our own festival. Lebanon Pride loudly and clearly denounces violence in all forms against all people. We are concerned that calls to monitor the festival next year risks everyone's safety. I did hear from a few Lebanon Pride supporters who were disappointed in our post, too political, that it took away from the festival. I remind them and those gathered here that Pride started as a protest. Our own Lebanon Pride will advocate for fair treatment of LGBTQIA persons and fight legislation that harms the gay community. In the spirit of transparency, we are happy to post the video from which the picture was taken on our social media accounts with no commentary, as it speaks for itself.
Janice McPherson.
Good evening. My name is Janice McPherson. I live in the Countryside Development by the Y. And I want to start by giving a shout out to the city workers. I want to highlight specifically Mike Kay, who I called with a concern about a tree in our tree lawn that was dying. I was asking if I needed any city permits to remove it or to replace it. He called me back. He said he'd driven by. It was indeed dying. Could he send a crew out that day to remove it for me? And also gave me the name of KCB, who is the other shout out, who walked me through getting on the list to get a replacement. These two and many other city workers are the people that make it possible for the things in this town that make it great and that make me love living here. For example, at Lebanon Pride Festival, everyone from the street crew that got the festival footprint set up, including addressing my concerns about the access to the alley on the morning of, the fire department that worked with me to get the food trucks inspected and ensure that we were ready to go, the police officers that kept our festival safe, and I know these workers do the same for the many festivals that make our downtown charming. And that's why it's disappointing that some can't look at this and see the joy and the value such a festival brings when it wouldn't be possible without these city workers. As a citizen of this community, I'm not asking for you to agree with the mission statement of Lebanon Pride, but I am asking you to recognize that we are your constituents too. The people who organized this worked hard to put on a festival that was fun, safe, and showcased how great Lebanon is to many new visitors. It would not have been possible without the hard work of a dedicated and incredible city staff, and it is unfortunate that the news afterwards was instead about how some city council members think we need special monitoring for wearing appropriate attire for, say, the Warren County Fair on a hot summer day. We will continue to invite this council to the festival, and even if you are not supporters of our mission statement, I hope you can attend. However, I do hope that next year when you come, you might stop by, say hi to us at the information booth, recognize that your constituents are the ones who throw this festival, and ask us any questions you might have about it. Thank you.
John, okay, is it an N or R?
2 N's and an R.
All right.
My name is John Fauner. I live at 1221 Turfway Court. I'm the father of a trans adult. I'm the uncle of a bisexual teenager. I'm a military veteran. I've spent about a third of my career in public service, like Mr. Brunca and others. I want to start by saying that elected officials who take on a special role in our communities make up 0.15% of the population of the country. I thank you for your service. You sacrifice a lot. I don't have to tell you that elected officials are not the most popular folks in the country right now. I think that goes without saying, but I also think that the lives of elected officials are largely misunderstood. Those of us who are in the other 99% of the population don't understand the phone calls that you get, the complaints that you get, being stopped in the grocery stores for your lifestyle that you've chosen for yourselves. It's a difficult role to play. Firefighters, tremendous celebration tonight of somebody who's given half a century of service to their community. Firefighters make up 0.3% of the U.S. population. Very few of us can understand what it means to say goodbye to your husband or your wife or your child in the morning and not know if they'll come back at night, whether that's a police officer or firefighter or so forth. But they've chosen a lifestyle that is very difficult for folks to understand. Military, active duty military, 0.5% of the U.S. population. We see on the news every day the risks that folks who have chosen that lifestyle take on for themselves. Again, like firefighters and police officers may not come home at the end of the day. Tremendous sacrifices that are hard, if not impossible, for people who even spend the time to comprehend it, to think about it, for folks to comprehend what it means to be among that very tiny percent of the population. 6% of us, like myself, maybe some of you, are military veterans, still a pretty small percentage of the population. 9% of the U.S. population identify as LGBTQ. That's a greater population than elected officials, than firefighters, police officers, active duty military veterans. Nobody's asking you to understand their lifestyle. Nobody's asking you if you approve of it. Many of us don't approve of elected officials, as we all kind of smiled and snickered at a little bit ago. But we have to respect each other. A threat against, which we've heard several explicit examples of here tonight, a threat against somebody who understands themselves well enough and is brave enough to identify as LGBTQ in this community where that's a hated community by many. You have to appreciate that. And as citizens, we have to appreciate the work you do, the work firefighters do, the work veterans have done, and the lives that LGBTQ people are trying to live, to contribute to their communities, to support their families, to be good children, to be good adults, to be good parents, just like each of you are trying to do in your own families, even though you are hated by some. You've taken on difficult roles. All right, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the role of the firefighters. I hope that you will appreciate the difficulties of lives of people that are different from yourselves. Thank you.
Thank you. I've never done that before. Can I just hold up 3 fingers? I hate interrupting people, so I'm just going to hold up 3 fingers when he gives me a signal. Perfect. That's what we're doing from now on.
Thanks.
Lauren Wolf.
Put on my blazers, it's official city business.
All right. Hi, guys. My name is Lauren Wolf. I live in Silverwood Farms. I am the new clerk at Lebanon Pride. I am also a mom to a 21-month-old, and I'm a queer resident here in Lebanon. First, I want to say thank you, like the thousands of people who attend Pride each year. I am grateful that this festival exists. It's become a celebration that brings people into our city, supports local businesses, and it was yet another safe and successful event. On July 25th, Lebanon Pride followed every city guideline, and police were present and actively monitoring our festival. There was no incidents of violence. We did not need any people to surveil our festival, should we not trust the police to do that. If the city believes the festival needs additional surveillance, then that standard needs to be applied to all festivals. I also want to clarify and be transparent that the AI image that was generated was not created by or posted by Lebanon Pride. Lebanon Pride does not condone violence or online threats. The goal is to make Lebanon Pride more welcoming, not unsafe. The LGBTQ plus community started officially celebrating Pride after Stonewall. It also provides resources to LGBTQ folks, which is important to a community who experiences so much discrimination, as you've heard here today. And it's greatly affected our mental health. I'm happy to email you guys some statistics that were taken last year of queer youth across our nation. It deeply upsets me on how queer youth are treated. I had the opportunity to work with them for years, so I know firsthand what that is like. I also recognize that church and city council often seem intertwined. We begin these meetings with a prayer, and the Bible is often referenced. But this is not a church. This is City Hall. It exists to serve everyone regardless of their beliefs, and it should never be used as a platform to diminish LGBTQ plus people, because if we're going to invoke Jesus, we need to remember that he led with compassion, dignity, and love. I'm a mom, and I'm in Mom's Club. I'm a neighbor. I'm a volunteer. I sing and I play guitar, including for veterans and first responders. I support local businesses. I care deeply about Lebanon and its history and its community and its future. I love this community as much as anybody else in this room. So I have a question for my city leaders. If a queer teenager walked into City Hall tomorrow wondering if they belonged here, what would your actions tell them? It's a hard question, but it matters. I hope you continue to listen, learn, and stay open to conversations, even if they're uncomfortable, because often growth begins with uncomfiness. Years from now, people will not remember for every single vote you cast in this room, but they will remember how their leaders made them feel. Thank you.
Thank you. Wyatt Bradley Vanover.
Hello, my name is Wyatt Vanover. I am a resident of Lebanon. Good evening, City Council members. I am here to share some of my personal experiences in support of Lebanon Pride. I have been a resident since 2020 and attended Lebanon High School for 2 years, after which attending the Warren County Career Center. While at Lebanon High School, I faced extreme bullying, discrimination, and sexually assaulted due to my sexuality. In one of those many instances, I was even grabbed by my hair and told that I was going to be raped. This is a situation that a child, regardless of their sexuality, should never experience. I've learned from my experiences as Lebanon Pride's youth advocate, this is not a problem that is not isolated and still occurs. Lebanon Pride has taught me these actions. The actions I experienced as a minor should not be normalized or tolerated. Lebanon Pride is not centered around sexuality, but our human experiences and uniqueness. It has been a pleasure to work with Lebanon Pride to intentionally provide a safe place for all attendees. Concerning safe spaces. Yeah, there's a drag show at our Pride event. Drag has been an art form since the 1870s that has faced a lot of inaccurate stereotypes. From my personal experiences, drag has been a way of expression similar to a concert or a Broadway performance, or even church. Please do not taint it into what it is not. It is a form of self-expression and an art. If my intentions were unclear, I am a member of the LGBTQ+IA, a community of Lebanon City, LGBTQIA community of a Lebanon City support Lebanon Pride and everything that follows with it. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Jennifer Boudre?
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Boudre. I am a Lebanon resident, homeowner, chamber member, vice president of the PFLAG Lebanon Warren County Chamber, or chapter rather, and the proud parent of 4 adult children, 3 of whom are queer. I'm also a librarian and an educator with more than 30 years of experience working with children, families, and communities. Today, my work focuses on helping people create welcoming places and helping people find them. My husband and I chose to move to Lebanon in 2024, in part because this community was hosting its first Pride, and we pretty sure that we would be able to find a community and build a home here. Volunteering at that first festival introduced me to some of the kindest, most generous people that I've had the pleasure to meet since moving to Ohio. Those friendships are a big part of why Lebanon does feel like home. But that feeling has also been challenged. Statements made by a member of this council did more than express a difference of opinion. They portrayed some of our neighbors as a threat, encouraged people to needlessly monitor a community event, and reinforced the idea that LGBTQ+ people are something to fear rather than people to know. Those comments also fueled yet another round of hostile conversation online. An elected official represents every resident, not only those who voted for them or share their beliefs. Whether LGBTQ+ people make up 5% of Lebanon or 50% is irrelevant. Queer people live here. They work here, they raise families here, they contribute to this community, and they deserve leaders who speak with them, about them, with dignity. What saddens me is how much is missed when we choose fear over knowing one another. At Lebanon Pride, I saw families, veterans, teachers, business owners, clergy, and grandparents. I saw people supporting local businesses, laughing together, and building community. When we refuse to know people because they are different from us, we miss the chance to become a stronger community. As an educator and district administrator, I understood that my words carried weight, the power to build or destroy trust. The same is true for every elected official. Words from leaders do not stay in council chambers or on Facebook. They shape what a community believes is acceptable. Children are listening and learning how people with power treat those who are different from them. LGBTQ+ young people hear whether adults believe they deserve to exist. That matters. At a time when LGBTQ+ people are experiencing hostility and violence across the country, our leaders should be lowering the temperature, not rising it. To every member of this council, you each have the opportunity to show this community what respectful leadership looks like. There are people throughout Lebanon who will support leaders who choose courage, civility, and dignity for every resident. I am proud to call Lebanon home, and I believe this city is better than fear and suspicion, and better than making any of our neighbors feel that they do not belong. Lebanon is at its best when every resident knows they matter, and every leader remembers that they represent all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Allison Mashurda.
No, wait a minute. I can add to my anxiety.
No problem.
My name is Allison Mashurda. I live and own a small business in downtown Lebanon. And good evening. I never thought I'd have to be back here, but yet here I stand. I'm the type of person that tries to walk in the middle. to strive to be fair, to see both sides, and understand what would make people say or do things. And it wasn't so long ago that I voted several times in a row for you, Mr. Messer. You see, the way I view you, council, is kind of like the officers in the Green Mile. You are supposed to, and I quote, keep your cool and talk instead of yell, and realize men under strain can snap and hurt themselves and hurt others. And as we navigate these volatile times, I can't help but believe this being your actual job is more important now than ever. And I keep this bit of knowledge tucked away when I read or hear things that happen in this world. Because when you put angry, hurtful, threatening words out there, it only takes 1% of people that hear you to have the means to carry out anything suggested, 1% of those to have a motive, 1% of those to have an opportunity, and lastly, 1% of those to have a mental health condition that would lessen the barrier between right and wrong. So what's going to happen when someone runs away with something that you said? Or takes it to a place or an extreme that you didn't intend on, but it ended up there? Then what are we going to do? It's probably very easy for you on that side to think that those of us who don't think exactly like you and offer other perspectives, that we just hate you or make fun of you. And actually that's not it, at least not for me. I try not to even use the word hate, as hate holds so much emotion. As an example, when I was on social media a few weeks back, I saw a video, and I didn't giggle or go, ooh, he got his. And as a side note, I would never have done that to you. And I looked at you and I thought, now you know how he felt that day, just 2 years ago in this room. And now you know what it feels like to have a point or a thought or a feeling, and to know whatever you say will make absolutely no difference. And it stings a bit. And for a fleeting moment, I thought things might change. And maybe they will. I'll hold on to that hope. I read the statement from council indicating that harassment and threats won't be tolerated, which shouldn't even need to be stated. That's completely inappropriate by all. But I expect that for both sides, like when people run against any of you, and your side threatens them and their employers and damages their personal property, so I'll expect not to hear any of that in the future. I think back a lot to the 7th grade, when I got punched in the face for being an ally. And all these years later, I'm still here, punched nose and all, because people can only get pushed and bullied for so long until people stand with them. So please let me close with the wise words from the ever great Dazed and Confused. The older you get, the more rules they're gonna try to get you to follow. And you just gotta keep living, man. L-I-B-I-N. Thank you.
Thank you. So that is the end of our, from what I have. I don't have any.
There should be a Celeste banner.
I was the first one to turn it in.
Come on up. Yeah, come on up. Go ahead.
Thank you. My daughter would like to speak to you.
Okay.
Can't find it.
Oh, I got you right here. I'm
Is
sorry.
that it?
It's stuck to the other page.
That's okay.
I thought I had 12.
Hi.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. That's okay. I just appreciate the time.
Absolutely.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. My name is Celeste, and I live on West Silver Street, and I used to be a small business owner here. I'm here tonight because I care deeply about the safety and well-being of our community. I want to be very clear about something from the beginning. I believe every person has the right to peacefully disagree with pride, just as every person has the right to participate in it. That is a part of living in a free society. My concern is not a disagreement. My concern is what happens when people from outside of our community are encouraged to come here to monitor an event involving a group of people who are already publicly targeted and criticized. I'm a trauma nurse. I used to work and manage our Level 1 Trauma Center in Cincinnati, Ohio. I worked for Air Care, and that's what I've done my entire life, is work with these types of communities. I worked through riots, 2 of them, situations where emotions were extremely high. I've seen firsthand how quickly a peaceful gathering can become dangerous when people arrive already angry, afraid, or looking for confrontation. That is why I'm asking the City Council to think carefully about what messages we are sending when we encourage or tolerate outside groups coming into our community to monitor our neighbors. We already have law enforcement. Our police officers are trained to assess threats, de-escalate conflicts, protect people, respond when a situation becomes dangerous. They're accountable to this community, and they operate within established laws and policies. Private citizens who arrive from outside the community to monitor an event do not necessarily have that training, that accountability, that responsibility. And when people openly carry weapons into an emotionally charged environment, that creates an additional risk, one I've taken care of for 30 years. I'm not suggesting that everyone who attends Pride or everyone who disagrees with Pride is dangerous. I'm saying that we should not create conditions where confrontation becomes more likely. If our goal is truly public safety, then our approach should be simple. Let peaceful people gather peacefully. Let people protest peacefully if they choose to. And let trained law enforcement, not armed civilians or self-appointed monitors, handle actual threats. I also want to remind council that the people attending Lebanon Pride are not an abstract political issue. They are our neighbors, they are someone's children, they are someone's co-workers, friends, parents, siblings, and family members. They deserve to be able to attend a community event without wondering whether someone is going to come into town specifically looking for a confrontation. And those who disagree with Pride deserve the same protection. Public safety has to apply to everybody. So tonight, I'm asking the council to make a commitment to de-escalation and equal protection. Please make sure that law enforcement has the resources and communicates necessary to keep Pride safe. Please discourage civilians from taking on the role of vigilantes or attempting to police an event themselves. I may have said that wrong. And please be thoughtful about the language used by elected officials when discussing this event, because words have consequences, and when leaders characterize a group of civilians as a threat other than people, you may feel justified in threatening them that way. Lebanon does not need to become a battleground. We can disagree without threatening one another. We can protest without intimidating one another. We can protect public safety without turning our community against itself. And I'm asking you to de-escalate professionalism, equal protection for everyone who calls Lebanon home. Thank you.
Thank you. Willow Gould.
Hello, my name is Willow Gould. I live at 385 Mar Road. I am 13 years old, and I would just like to talk about how wonderful Lebanon Pride is. I was a volunteer this year. I've been going for all 3 years, though. I have many friends who are queer. I have friends who are trans, gay, bisexual, lesbian, all that. I'm really happy to know that they have a space where they can feel safe, because many of their parents are not accepting, and I hate to see that. I hate to see how it makes them feel. I hate to see how draining it is for them to have parents who do not accept them, and it makes me so happy that they have a place that makes them feel safe and accepted and welcome. And yeah.
Noel. I was not going to say your last name. I'm sorry.
I'm happy to say it for
Okay,
you.
thank you.
My name is Noelle Schambuffer. I am a resident of Lebanon for approximately 14 years now. And I am the volunteer coordinator for Lebanon Pride for the past 3 years. And I just want to speak a little bit to the type of people who volunteer and to address what I think is maybe a misconception about Pride, because much has been made of the term indecency in regards to outfits. And I want to talk about decency and how people, we had over 100 volunteers every single year. If you guys ever run an event, you may know you have a little bit of no-shows. This year I had one no-show volunteer. That's the level of commitment that allies and members of the LGBTQIA community have towards Lebanon Pride. For example, I have a woman who is an ally. I believe she has children in the community. She works all day, approximately 12 hours, doing hospitality. Hospitality is wiping down the porta potties and sweeping up the trash and cleaning the tables. The least glamorous job at Pride. And because of my job, I stay in one spot pretty much all day. Every year I have had people come and speak to me how safe they feel, that they're afraid at home. And I look out and I'm just echoing what others have said. Please come. It is beautiful. There is joy that you feel. And how would we not want for other children what we want for our own children? I'm a mother, and it's just, I don't see how you could come to Pride and not feel the happiness, feel the support, feel the community. So I invite you all next year. I'll be at the volunteer tent, and it's just, I can't express to you how important and how wonderful it is to be involved in this group in this town. So thank you.
Thank you. So we have, so let's see. Previous business. Council will have comments at the end. We've got 10 ordinances to get through. And then council will make comments at the end. So thank you for everybody for your comments so far tonight. Ordinance number. What? Awesome. Oh, thank you. Ordinance number 2026-065.
Ordinance number 2026-065, revising chapter 921 of the Lebanon Codified Ordinances, adjusting the cemetery rates and fees.
This ordinance adjusts the cemetery rates, making it more financially self-sufficient while still providing quality services. I know there's been discussion right now, the general fund does kind of subsidize the cemetery operation, so while we still will have that subsidy with these rates, it will definitely narrow the gap.
Do we have a motion to adopt?
So moved. Second.
Any comments here? I just want to thank staff for the work they did to bring this up after the comments that were made in our previous session. We're going to do kind of like a 2-year step when it comes to the fee structure. And if you didn't hear at our previous session, even the increase will not totally cover the total capital outlay for what the cemetery will need to continue on. But it's a better fee structure to at least get us part of the way there. So I appreciate the work that staff has done. And if you'd like to look at where we're going with the Lebanon Cemetery, we have some concept designs and pictures that we've already posted. So feel free to take a look at those. Please call the roll.
Mrs. Harper.
Yes.
Mr. Sellers.
Yes.
Mr. Cope.
Yes.
Mrs. Eggers.
Yes.
Mr. Lamoureux.
Yes.
Mayor Messer.
Yes. Ordinance number 2026-066.
Ordinance number 2026-066, revising section 921.09 of the Lebanon Codified Ordinances, updating the cemetery rules and regulations.
This ordinance updates the cemetery rules and regulations governing cemetery operations, maintenance requirements, memorializing standards, and decoration requirements. This is the first update since 2007.
Motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? Please call the roll.
Mr. Lamoureux.
Yes.
Mr. Sellers?
Yes.
Mayor Messer?
Yes.
Mrs. Eggers?
Yes.
Mrs. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Coe?
Yes.
Ordinance number 2026-075, new business.
Ordinance 2026-075, approving modifications to Chapter 133 of the Lebanon Code, establishing employment provisions and classifications, and declaring an emergency.
This ordinance updates the list of approved position and titles to reflect the proposed organizational structure, current union contracts, and potential 2027 operating budget guidelines.
Do I have a motion to adopt?
Second.
Any comments? Please call roll.
Mr. Sellers?
Yes.
Mr. Coe?
Yes.
Mayor Messer?
Yes.
Mrs. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Lamoureux?
Yes.
Mrs. Eggers?
Yes.
Ordinance number 2026-076.
Ordinance number 2026-076, approving rate adjustments to the city's electric utility rate structure.
This ordinance approves changes to the city's electric rates as recommended by the 2026 electric rate study. It adjusts revenues in order to effectively fund the city's electric expenses. And Mr. Laser, I believe, has a slide just to kind of review how our rates compare to our peer communities. You want to go through that, Brian?
Sure. We do actually have another update from council work session. When we did a little bit further research, we had initially said that 2016 was the last time we changed rates. It was actually 2010 was the last time those rates were upped, and then in 2020 they were reduced. Looking at the structure, we'll focus on the residential. We use a typical 900 kilowatt usage for residential. The current rates would be $119 a month to do that. After the first adjustment, it would be $124, and after the second adjustment, it would be $128. So that would be over 2 years. Looking at our peer communities, other communities in the area, Hamilton has their own electric system. For the same 900 kilowatts, it's $144 a month, so we're $20 less than that. Duke is $172, and AES rates are $188. And Duke is currently in the midst of another raise after that. So we are lower than our peer community and the investor-owned utilities, Duke and AES, even with the increases to those rates.
And who can say that they haven't raised prices in 16 years? Yeah. That's an incredible job by staff.
I also want to mention, Brian, thank you for explaining that slide because I think that's so important. But the reason why Hamilton is mentioned is because they are the other local municipality that has their own electric company. So most of the areas around us don't have that to even compare. And you probably see, friends, or maybe you live outside of the city limits and you see the rates. So I understand as a family who uses a lot of electricity, nobody wants to see their rates go up, but I mean, it's been since 2010. It's a long time, and we want to make sure that there's money in reserve so that in the future we need to make upgrades to our equipment and things like that, that we have the money available to do that. Scott or Brian, either way, would you please explain, because we had a really good session about this, going into details. A lot of people are very concerned about data centers and how that affects electric rates. So, and they may not be aware that we've had a data center here for a very long time. And so, as we said, our rates have not increased over that time. And we've actually implemented some things in the new rates that will keep that fair. Would you mind explaining that?
Yeah, I'll start, and Brian, feel free to jump in. So the slide shows what our current 4 non-residential electric rates are: the general service single phase, general service 3-phase, large power secondary, and large power primary. All 4 of those commercial rate categories, they're also seeing a rate increase. So the way the electric rate study was conducted, we looked at the cost of service for each specific rate class. There's unique requirements for businesses in our industrial park compared to residential customers. So we took into account the cost to serve those kind of unique user categories. What's not shown on the slide, we added a 5th non-residential electric rate category for our high power users, exceedingly high power users, which we have 1 data center that falls into that category. So any user that has a demand of 15 megawatts or more would fall under it. Again, we specifically looked at what are the costs associated with that type of customer, whether it's a data center or another high power user, and we factored that into the rates that they pay. So I think the difference between the large primary power and then the new kind of pass-through power category is around a 7% increase, something like that. So again, they're paying more, they're seeing an increase as well, and that's based on a cost of service study.
Thank you, Mr. Marquez.
One thing, if I could, to note also, the data center, as you mentioned, has been there for a long time, Councilmember Eggers. The city's never subsidized them in any way. There have been no tax breaks, no tax increment financing. They have been 100% left on their own, which is a lot different than it is has been in some other jurisdictions, in Ohio particularly, and that facility's always been zoned correctly. So there have been no zoning breaks, certainly no incentives, financial or otherwise, from the city to that facility.
Motion for first read?
So moved.
Ordinance number 2026-077.
Ordinance number 2026-077, approving an agreement with Burgess and Nyepel in the amount of $135,560 to update and develop a citywide thoroughfare plan and declaring an emergency.
This ordinance approves an agreement with Burgess and Nyepel to update the city's existing thoroughfare plan, identifying transportation problems, defining study issues and goals, identifying alternative solutions, and receiving and adapting to public feedback.
Do I have a motion?
Go ahead.
A motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments?
Yeah, I did want to mention that for people who are concerned, like, we all know some of the issues that happen with the city, concerns about roads and things like that, but Scott, do you know how far into the rest of Warren County the other study is? So that, like,
Northern Warren County?
Is it all?
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is part of a bigger study.
So the Warren County Engineers Office is taking the lead on the Northern Warren County Transportation Study. Right now, they're they finished the data collection phase and they're starting the modeling of the transportation network. That's going to focus on primarily your state routes and kind of your larger thoroughfare roads. Our goal with this is to piggyback on some of the work that they've done, but drill down into finer detail with Lebanon's road system.
Mm-hmm.
Will their study include Main Street?
Yeah, their study includes Main Street, yes. Okay. Yes, State Route 63 is a big part of it, yes.
Please call roll.
Mr. Cope?
Yes.
Mrs. Eggers?
Yes.
Mrs. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Sellers?
Yes.
Mayor Messer?
Yes.
Mr. Lammer?
Yes. Ordinance number 2026-078.
Ordinance number 2026-078, approving the zoning map amendment for the property located at 4 Oakwood Avenue to rezone it from residential 1-C or R1C to neighborhood commercial planned unit development or NC space PUD as approved by the Planning Commission.
This ordinance approves a zoning map amendment for 4 Oakwood Avenue in order to be more consistent with the property's longstanding historical use and provide regulatory framework for its continued use.
Motion for first read?
So moved.
Ordinance number 2026-079.
Ordinance number 2026-079, approving a zoning map amendment to rezone approximately 29.5 acres located on Norgal Drive from light industrial, or I-1, to light industrial planned unit development, or I-1 PUD, as approved by the Planning Commission.
This ordinance approves a zoning map amendment for 29.5 acres on Norgal Drive to help facilitate the expansion of the outdoor RV storage operation for heat and sensor, Lebanon storage, and for the development of the new case towing facility.
Motion for first read?
So moved. I would like to make a comment, just, I'm so pleased
Yes,
Case
sir.
found the property and was able to, we're keeping the local business local.
Yeah. Ordinance number 2026-080.
Ordinance number 2026-080, approving the final plat of Cedarwood, Section 5, as recommended by Planning Commission and declaring an emergency.
This ordinance approves the final plat of Cedarwood Section 5, creating 48 new residential lots and 4 open space lots.
Do a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Please call, any comments? Please call roll.
Mr. Sellers?
Yes.
Mr. Cope?
Yes.
Mayor Messer?
Yes.
Mrs. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Lamoureux?
Yes.
Mrs. Eggers?
Yes.
Salt ordinance 2026. So, ordinance number 2026-081.
Ordinance number 2026-081, authorizing the city manager to purchase road salt for the 2026-2027 winter season from Morton Salt.
This ordinance approves the purchase of road salt from Morton Salt for the unit price bid submitted as part of the 2026 through 2027 Warren County Engineers Office Road Salt Purchasing Program, which the city has participated in for a number of years.
Motion for first read?
So moved.
It's depressing to talk about.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Every year I know what time of year it is because of this ordinance for some reason. It just sticks out in my brain. Resolution 2026-082.
Resolution number 2026-082, delegating authority with respect to reimbursement of temporary advances during fiscal years 2026 and 2027 made for capital improvements for a public safety facility to be made from subsequent borrowings.
This resolution authorizes the city to recoup certain expenses associated with a proposed public safety building in the 2026 and 2027 years through the issuance of future debt that will support the construction of a new facility. I think as we talked about in the work session, it essentially allows the city to incorporate any expenses we may incur in planning and design of the facility into a future debt issuance, if council so chooses.
Yeah. Appreciate you working on that, Dan, and staff. Motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Please call roll.
Mr. Cope?
Yes.
Mrs. Eggers?
Yes.
Mrs. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Sellers?
Yes.
Mayor Messer?
Yes.
Mr. Lamoureux?
Yes.
Ordinance number 2026-083.
Ordinance number 2026-083, approving a contract with Milcon in the amount of $98,995 for emergency sanitary sewer repairs on North Sycamore Street and declaring an emergency.
This ordinance approves the emergency repair contract with Milcom for a section of sanitary sewer main serving an existing property on North Sycamore Street to ensure sanitary sewer service to the building. Did send out a summary sheet. It's a little bit of a complicated project, but it appears decades ago the sewer main that runs down Sycamore was abandoned. It was assumed that there were no connections to it. There was one building that appeared to have been connected to it. It was vacant for a long time. Obviously, it's no longer vacant, so this project will essentially reestablish a sewer main on Sycamore Street in this location.
Very good. Motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Is that very good? Any comments? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Harper?
Yes.
Mr. Sellers?
Yes.
Mr. Cope?
Yes.
Mrs. Eggers?
Yes.
Mr. Lamoureux?
Yes.
Mayor Messer?
Yes. We have a liquor license transfer, Nikki's Tavern. Council would have seen that in the packet. Do I have a motion not to require a public hearing for that transfer?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Mr. Cook abstained from that. City manager's report.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. The next meeting of City Council will be a work session on Monday, August 17th. I do want to let folks know the improvements and widening of State Route 63 in front of the Parkside development is scheduled to begin on August 24th. So the conditions of the permit, the contractor will be allowed to restrict traffic flow to one lane, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. After 3 p.m., it needs to open back up to two-way traffic. But this will be kind of that first step in a series of improvements on State Route 63. And
So-
more to follow, obviously,
yeah.
we'll put more information out to the public.
So the beginning of this road construction starts this summer, it's gonna, or the end of this, or going into the fall, and then we'll break for winter.
Yep.
And then starting in
So, yeah, this
May-ish?
Maybe, so this phase will start, end of August, and then, they're scheduled to be completed early November.
Mhm.
Will be obviously a breaking construction activity through the winter. The next phase is the city's widening, and that's tied to federal funds, and the ODOT schedule on that. And so that money is released, or that project will be released in fiscal July of next year. So, early to midsummer, that next phase of the State Route 63 improvements will begin. And that does include the construction of a roundabout there at Marquis.
And the bridge.
And the bridge,
Yeah.
correct.
So lots of work on 63.
I'm sorry, will you repeat that? I could not hear what you were saying.
Sorry, yeah, so, this is the first phase of improvements to State Route 63. This is a portion of the road in front of the Parkside development that's gonna be widened. They're required to maintain one lane of traffic, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. As part of this phase, and then after 3 p.m., they need to open it back up to 2 lanes of traffic. They should be done, the schedule is for them to be completed by early November, end of October, early November. Next year, there's going to be another improvement to State Route 63. This is kind of the city's portion of the improvements, and that will begin in the summer, construction-wise, next summer. And it's going to include the replacement of the bridge kind of next to Marquis Road and the installation of a roundabout at Marquis Road. But there are federal dollars associated with that, grant dollars, so we're kind of tied to the ODOT schedule on when we can start construction on that. Yep.
And the sidewalk and trail systems will be connected from
Correct, part of that is then to kind of
corporate
connect.
downtown all the way up into the top end of Parkside, so it'll be a nice little connection. We have no executive session planned, not that I'm aware of.
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Harper, do you have anything for us?
I do have a couple of questions in regards to some of the things that were said. If somebody could enlighten me, because I feel like I'm kind of not understanding all of this. First of all.
Ms. Harper?
Yes.
Would you mind, do you have specific questions of certain people, or are they more general?
No, they're more general.
Would there be someone who would want to, maybe the president? Awesome.
Okay.
I was assuming you wanted to ask them directly.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
This is Leslie, right?
It is.
Okay, thank you.
Nice to meet you.
And I don't know if you'll know the answer to exactly each of these, but I tried to write down when you said your name, and then there was, some of you gave an address, and some of you just said you live in Lebanon, or you are a resident of Lebanon. Does that mean not in the city limits?
I believe everybody filled out a speaker
Lebanon.
form, so the addresses would be there. Many
Okay.
of us live within the city limits. There are a few here this evening that live just outside.
Okay. It seemed, yeah, because I think there was only 2 or 3 people that gave their address, and that's how I was trying to figure out whether we're talking about
I'll have those here
Lebanon?
for you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And then secondly, there's been lots of mention about Facebook, and I'm not really on Facebook. So apparently there was one post that kicked a controversy off. Yes, and that post was made by?
Lebanon Pride.
Okay. All right. So I just want to get that settled down. And then what is the questions about monitoring an event? Asking people to monitor events or something?
You would have to ask Mr. Cope about that. Okay. Lebanon Pride posted a welcome post on Facebook with a picture of Mr. Cope, who was in the park for a short period of time.
Okay. Picture of his with his permission?
No, nor do I think that folks he was videotaping and photographing get their permission. Okay. So,
but
we have posted that video.
Yeah, and then just one follow-up question.
Sure.
A couple of people mentioned somebody asking other people to monitor the event next year. Is that what you're?
Mr. Cope has asked folks to monitor the event next year.
Okay. I just wanna,
Sure.
like.
Appreciate the dialogue.
Thank you, yes,
Thank you.
okay. I'm done, thank you.
Thank you.
You go down the line, or skip it around?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right, since we had just a work session after National Night Out, I just wanted to recognize our police department, as that's their baby for the year, and having worked in the police department before, I understand all the work that goes into that, so I want to thank them. And then also, of course, our fire department and every other staff member that is involved in that, because I know it takes a whole team, and all of the vendors and things like that. I had the pleasure of being there as not just an attendee, but I would say as a vendor set up there for my work as well. And it was very well attended, lots of people, lots of happy people, had a great time. Fortunately, we didn't have rain this year, so it was a really nice event. But I just want to make sure the police department gets their recognition for that, because that is a lot of work for them to do that. I also was not able to attend the butterfly release and the Boulder ribbon cutting, but looked like it was a great turnout. And for anyone who has kids and haven't taken them over there, it's a really great place. I know the kids are absolutely loving it, so that's a nice new option for kids to do. And of course, congratulations to Dennis on 50 years. I mean, in the fire service, so many people now are only in a job for 2 to 3 years. Is kind of the average, so to imagine staying in a field and being there for 50 years and making those sacrifices, and his family and probably friends too, the sacrifices that they've had to make for him being in that service as well. It's just an incredible thing, and I'm just so glad that we can honor people like that who are just the best part of our city and what makes us great here. So congratulations to him and to our fire department for having such great individuals.
Thank you. Mr. Cole?
Request you come back to me, I gotta decide if I'm gonna make any comments.
Mr. Lammer?
I guess to echo Ms. Eggers, I appreciate Dennis and his willingness to serve our community. Just congratulations to him. 50 years is a long time. I was 5 when we started, just in case you were wondering. Chief, and that says a lot to staff and chief and the previous administrations. No one stays someplace for 50 years if it's not a healthy work environment. So just kudos to the predecessors that we've had. Also, I want to comment on our electric rates, I guess, just to go back to that. I think people don't realize how blessed we are to own our own facility, and I'm, Mr. Urick, I'm not trying to make you sweat here. I promise I won't get over my skis.
He loves this stuff, so do whatever he has. He's got it all.
Generally, I sweat profusely anyway.
You probably read books on this stuff at night, because the Indians are terrible, or the Guardians, or wherever they are now, they're terrible.
Better than reading about the Browns' upcoming season.
This is true. We both grew up that way, so don't hold that against us. But no, so in all seriousness, back to our electric facility and the team that we have. It is just a true, it's a hidden gem that we're able to keep our rates down and keep them affordable with the different things that we do with some of the alternative stuff, and then buying power blocks and the minority ownership that we have in the facility up north. I've got a high school friend that runs a rural electric co-op in north central Ohio, and I was telling him some of this stuff. I don't know, it was this last fall, around Thanksgiving. I was up visiting my mom and dad, and I ran into Rick, and he was blown away that because I don't know how many of these types of arrangements exist in our state. I can think of 3, I believe: Troy, Hamilton, and us. And he was blown away that we could keep our rates as low and our service high. And then Mr. Sellers and I went on our own dime last fall to Charlotte, North Carolina, to an energy consortium, for lack of a better description. And one of the breaks, we got to talking to a guy from California that is very active in alternative energy on other continents, specifically nuclear. And we were just, I don't want to put words in your mouth, I was asking questions because I'm curious. I kind of interview people for a living, but that's a one other conversation. So I'm asking him questions about what he does and why he does what he, what they do, and the papers that he writes and the lectures he gives all over the world. And he was blown away that we exist, that our electric facility exists. And I wish I could take credit for that, but I can't. It's from our, the folks that have gone before us. It's their planning and the decisions that they made. But it's truly a gem. So I'm going to stop pontificating on that, but I try to get that message out when I can as I'm talking to people. This is the most people we've had in like 90 days combined, so thank you for coming. I know this is really exciting, and sorry we didn't have more slides.
To piggyback on that is we're having our first electric rate increase in 16 years, and that's staggering to 4.5%. The national inflation during that time period is 53%.
Yes.
So kudos to staff for being able to be so efficient. And congratulations to Dennis, and kind of, echoing what other council members have already said, but for me, that was arguably one of the coolest moments since I've been on council. I mean, you think of 50 years is unbelievable. I mean, the longest job I've ever been at is 8 years. So, but no, I mean, the amount of support of fellow firefighters that were here speaks to the kind of person and impact that he has had and the kind of person that he is. I think his quote, I thought, was one of the best quotes I've heard in a long time, that he said, "I'm an old timer and I want to ensure these young guys are old timers." I thought that was really cool. So, but that's all I've got.
Thanks, sir. That's cool.
Sure. I do appreciate everybody coming and being able to speak their mind, and I really appreciate supporters from here locally, here tonight, across the county, even the state, and the support that I've gotten as I've made comments that supports certainly a worldview that's a traditional type of worldview. Hate hearing about the experiences that people come and talk about, their personal experiences. Certainly not trying to cause anything that instigates that. It is disappointing to see, I go to almost every event, at least every one that I can make downtown. Walk around, make sure, talk to vendors, see how they're doing. On occasion have called the police when somebody's getting rowdy or affecting the safety of the event. So, the words that I use to monitor have certainly seemed to be taken further than I was surprised how far that's been taken. I don't think that gives the room for the Lebanon Pride leadership to use words like actions that are militant, most in several interviews. And I guess it's unfortunate because 2 years ago we had pretty good dialogue, and I was even mentioned during 2 years ago that I was down at the event checking things out, making sure that the rules we had in place were followed and there weren't any issues. The organization seemed to say that those rules certainly promoted the event, helped the event, and they didn't have any issues with it. And now the event's being labeled as, a protest in one interview, just the language of the militant really is probably why I'm getting threatened and my family's being threatened. So, I think it's great to have a statement tonight calling that you don't support violence. It's kind of talking out of two sides of the coin here, but which is unfortunate. I think we'll let a little bit of time, I think, and calm down, and we can try to have some dialogue about how this doesn't happen again.
The easy part of the job is buying salt every year. I would say this is probably one of the hardest when you have to communicate in a public arena like this. with people who you are citizens with, but you might have differing opinions. And the context that kind of drives a lot of those emotions and those feelings come from things that are posted on the internet. It's much, when I'm looking at you in the eyes and you're looking at me in the eyes and we see each other for who we are and our humanity, it's much easier to communicate with people on a level that is humane. It was unfortunate, to say the least, what happened at that event. I would say that from most people's comments, they want people to show up. They want people to experience this event. What I struggle with is, and I apologize, Mr. Cope, I'm going to use your experience, but what I struggle with is when someone showed up that was a known person that was of an opposite opinion. They were photographed, they were spread across the internet in women's attire, acting as if he was part of the festival. I received phone calls. I think everybody on the board received phone calls. And I know that Pride did not do that. Like, they didn't post that picture, but it's very easy to go through and see contrasting comments between Pride posts and that post of Mike and Drag. And I would just say I 100% agree with a lot of the things people said, and not one person on this board wouldn't absolutely put down anybody who was bullying or stuffing people in lockers or punching people in the face or pulling their hair. We all view that as abhorrent, no matter who you are, and I think that we can align on that. The issue is that Mr. Cope suffered those same insults, and at the same time, you are welcoming people of a different opinion. So it's hard for people of different opinion to show up, because what if I show up next year and you put me in a red dress, and that I'm just saying. I understand what people are saying, but I think the actions need to also meet the words. I think I really appreciate everybody coming out and speaking about this, because this has played out very publicly, and I think it kind of needs to be addressed publicly. And I appreciate everybody's willingness to do that, Mr. Cope as well. I think going forward, I think there's a lot of individual conversations that need to be had. I wrote down in my notes a couple of people that I want to reach out to specifically, just to get more context and more understanding of what they were actually trying to say. Because our events need to be safe. Everybody on city council understands everybody's constitutional rights, and we understand that you have the rights to make fun of us and insult us and say whatever you want to a point. But does that actually benefit our community in a positive way? And I don't think it does. So hopefully moving forward, we can connect on a human level and not necessarily on this, I would say, relatively caustic and juvenile level that we went down over the past couple weeks. Oh, we'll talk after. Okay. So, if nobody has anything else, I'll entertain a motion to close. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Please call roll.
Mayor Messer,
Yes.
Mr. Sellers.
Yes.
Mrs. Harper,
Yes.
Mr. Lamoureux,
Yes.
Mrs. Eggers,
Yes.
Mr. Coe.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your comments, and we will see you in a couple weeks or next week.